Hello again. It's Kathy Dixon from Action Potential, and I'm here for Beat the Boar Exercises for Your Back and Core on Facebook Live. I was gonna try to do this outside today, but then I thought my neighbors might think I'm even more strange if I was exercising on my back patio yelling at my computer. So we're keeping it inside, but make sure you get outside today and take a walk because it's beautiful. Today's tip of the day is we're going to discuss proper form when doing a lunge, or more particularly what I call a drop lunge. If you have dumbbells, go ahead and grab them, both of them, so the pair. We can incorporate them, and if you think you're going to have a little trouble with your balance in standing, transitioning from 2 feet to 1 foot, you might want to grab a kitchen chair just so you have something to steady yourself nearby. All right, so we're going to start with a little warm-up of 3 exercises just to get the juices flowing. I'm going to grab my dumbbells for my warm-up today. We're going to do the tried and true, the squat, and then the lift up on your toes. If you don't have dumbbells, you can just do this exercise with your hands at your side. What we're trying to do is we're trying to warm up our hips and our knees, keeping our back nice and straight. Okay, I'll show you from the side. So remember, the butt hinges back. We stand up tall, brace our belly, rise up on the toes. Notice how my arms aren't really moving at all. Basically, when I'm holding the weight in my arms, I'm just engaging those shoulder blades like we do in the plank position. And I let the shoulder blades just kind of hold on to the weight. So notice I'm not bending to the floor, okay, or shrugging through my shoulders. So we'll do about 10 more here. And we're going to come back to squats towards the end of the program. We're going to go back into that single leg squat. So for right now, we're just trying to warm up, get loose. And again, I lost count. So let's finish with 3 here. No jumping today. Maybe I'll save the jumping for Thursday. Good. All right, place your weights down. I'm going to double up my mat because we're going to go into kneeling. So in kneeling, that 1 foot is in front. So it's a 90-degree bend at the knee. I'm nice and tall on my back hip. And we're going to do our rotations here. So crossing your arms, we're going to open the hips first and then follow with the shoulders. Doing about 4 or 5 each direction. And then if you want to make this guy a little bit harder, you can grab one of your dumbbells, kind of hold it up at one shoulder, and it just kind of throws you off balance a little bit, or you can balance it in the middle so that you have just a little bit more. The weight sometimes can help activate your core just because it's putting a load through the middle of your body and making you tighten your belly a little bit more. Go ahead and switch your feet. I'm going to keep my weight here. I'm just kind of holding it in both my hands. Front knee stays straight as I turn my pelvis and then my shoulders. Just going to keep rotating. Feel free to leave me comments if there's a certain exercise that you would like to become the tip of the day, or feedback on if the challenge is appropriate for the audience, or if you guys want to see it a little bit harder or a little bit easier. To be honest, I've never worked out so much in my life between virtual PT visits and Facebook Live. So I feel like I exercise more now than I did when I was actually working in the office. All right, and then we're going to go onto our side. We're going to lie down on our side and just do our twisting stretch. So again, lie on our side. Take our top knee, pull it up towards our chest. Bottom hand on that knee. Bottom leg straight with my body. Hand on the rib cage. Rotate that top shoulder back. If you would like the progression of this exercise, I'm going to kind of show you my feet view here. I can grab that back foot with my hand and rotate my shoulder and foot back together. So here's the traditional one, legs straight. If I want to get a little bit more overpressure, I can grab the back foot, pull the thigh straight with my body, and rotate the shoulder and the foot back. Okay. So keep holding this position. And you don't have to get your top shoulder to the floor if you're doing the foothold. Just kind of gives you a bigger stretch through that bottom thigh and allows you to pull that shoulder a little bit closer to the floor. One big inhale here. Exhale and relax that shoulder back towards the floor. Hold about 10 more seconds. This is a great stretch just to breathe into. So loosen up that spine. Go ahead and let go of your foot and unrotate. It's very important to come out of that twist before you switch sides. You don't want to be in such a big twist. So top knee up, hand down on that knee, bottom leg straight, or grab your foot, thigh straight with your body, and rotate back. Make sure you're breathing into the stretch. What I was saying is you don't want to, in this deep twist, you don't want to quickly get up and switch sides. This is a lot of torque through your spine. So you always want to make sure that you come out of the rotation first before changing your position. Inhale. Exhale and let that shoulder drop back. Hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. It was nice outside. I planted my garden from seeds this year, so we'll see what happens. I usually buy little plants, but I'm impatient. Keep breathing in. Exhale and let that shoulder drop back one more time. Okay, let go of your foot, unrotate. Great, so we're gonna start with the straight leg raise today. So again, like usual, we have different ways of doing these exercises. Okay, if you want the most basic, your belly tight, you're marching, okay, or your belly tight, lifting both legs up, heel tapping. And then if you want to follow along with me, you can do the straight leg raise. You can either do where both legs are straight on the floor and you're alternatingly lifting your legs, or I'm going to do the highest progression where both legs are up in the air and I'm going to press that weight up in the air. So if you have your dumbbell, go ahead and press it up in the air. We're going to inhale, exhale, let the ribs fall to the floor, tighten your lower belly. I'm going to put both legs up in the air and then we're going to go ahead and tap. I'm going to try to count. So we do about 10 on each leg. You want to make sure that your belly stays nice and tight so that your hips don't rock and your back doesn't arch from the floor. So keep going here. That's 4 and 5. So we're halfway. Just make sure the leg, no matter if it's a marching leg or a straight leg, it's moving towards the same side shoulder, not towards your chin or your belly button. And the non-moving leg, if you have both legs up, the non-moving leg, you're kind of pulling it towards you so that it doesn't go along with the leg that's lowering. Okay? I'm going to say one more on each side, only because my belly's starting to quiver. And then back down and drop the weight. Okay, so we warmed up our transverse abdominis. Now we're going to do bridges so we can capture the glutes or the butt cheeks. And we're going to incorporate that skull crusher of the arms. So remember, here in the bridge position, you can just bridge up with both feet on the ground. You can hold one leg up. You can single leg bridge. Or you can do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to bridge up, and then I'm going to bend the elbows into a tricep press. Okay, so let's go ahead. Up. I'm going to count 10 tricep presses here. I'm driving through my heels so that my glutes are engaged, and then my belly's nice and tight, counterbalancing the weight. If you're using the weight, make sure that your upper arm is vertical or perpendicular to the ceiling. It's not moving back and forth. And I'm going to have to guess here. We've got 3 more. Good. Lower down. We're going to take the bridge one step further today. So I'd like everybody to try with me. We're going to do the bridge. While we're up in the bridge, we're alternately going to march our legs, and then we're going to lower back down. So we're going to bridge up, We're gonna march one leg up. Oh, we did do this the other day. The other leg up and lower back down. Bridge up. Imagine you're balancing your pelvis. You want your pelvis to stay nice and level. You don't want it to tip side to side as you march those legs. So the non-moving leg is actually the important leg. It continues to drive into the floor to keep your butt lifted in the air as you march the opposite foot off the floor. And then your belly muscles, your transverse abdominis, keep that pelvis from rocking side to side. We're going to do 3 more here. Make sure that knee is still moving towards the same side shoulder, not towards your chin. And down. Okay, so we're moving through these pretty fast. I'm trying to leave some time for us to do standing stuff today. I do want to go through a plank series. Remember, if you have a hard time doing these exercises in a plank, most of them can be done in the tabletop position, or you can stand up and go onto a counter. So if I show you from here, it's not a good view. You can use a counter to kind of hold yourself up in a diagonal slant instead of being perpendicular to the floor. So I'm going to roll my mat. We're going to incorporate the mountain climber or knees to chest along with the row. So sometimes at the gym they call this an around the world. We are not going to do a leg kick up because I find most people get too much movement in your spine. So we're going to do a row, and then we'll bring a knee to the chest and back, and then the opposite knee to the chest and back. Okay, so remember, I'll demonstrate in all different positions, but the first one, bring your shoulder blades in towards your spine, push from your armpits into the floor, brace your belly, step 1 foot back. Nothing changes as you step the opposite foot back. In this position, you're going to row, pulling from that string on your elbow, and then we're going to march a knee in towards the same side elbow, and a knee in towards the same side elbow. Then we'll go back to the alternating arm rows, a knee into the same side elbow, a knee into the same side elbow. If you're okay in the plank position, stay here, keep going. I'm going to show you guys from the tabletop position. So you're going to row, row. You're just going to step out, in, sorry, not out. So again, row, row. Bring that knee to your elbow. Trying to keep that tailbone lifted, not letting it curl underneath of you. All right, let's do 3 more. And if you need a break, come out of your plank and go back into it. And I think on Thursday we might go over the side plank. And I think we've got 1 more here for a row and a row. Should feel your whole body burning at this point. That's why planks are so good, because they hit everything. Okay, so we're moving back up onto our feet. I finished the other day with doing the squat, weight shift, tap back, and then we went into the skater march, or the squat, weight shift, tap back, and then marching the leg forward. So just for a little review, if you have a chair, you can grab it for balance for your hands if you'd like, or you could put it in front for that target of where to tap your foot. Okay, I'll pull it back out to show, but basically we're dropping into our squat. I'm imagining there is a rod from my shoulder to my hip. I'm weight shifting my body over that 1 foot. I feel the weight in my butt and my heel, bracing my belly. I'm going to tap that 1 foot behind. Now I'm going to stand up tall and march that leg to about a 90-degree hip bend back to the floor. I'm going to go to the opposite side. So we're going to squat, weight shift over there. I feel it in my butt and my heel. Brace my belly in, tap back, stand tall, and march. Just going to show you the side view. So we're going to go back to the opposite leg. We're going to weight shift. I'm going to tap back, stand tall, and march. So I'm 90 degrees at the hip, 90 degrees at the knee. The shoulder is moving. The knee is moving towards the same side shoulder. Okay, I'm not moving towards my chin. So we're gonna keep going here and march, lower back down, weight shift, tap back, and march. Keep your belly tight so that you don't get rotation in your hips, your front knee, or your shoulders, right? That's why we're working our core here. And by working our core, we're protecting our back because we're using our hip hinge in our squat as we weight shift, tap back, and march. So we squat, weight shift, tap back, and march. One more to each side. Seems like we're doing 100 of these, but because we're going side to side, we want to make sure we get our repetitions in. Belly's tight, tapping, and down. All right, so tip of the day, talking about lunging. So in a lot of fitness videos and at the gym, people say the exercises we're working into is a lunge. Just want to talk about the two different types of lunges. So you can have a lunge, which is a step and then a press forward. Notice my knee kind of moves over my toes. My back leg is extended but straight. Then I can step back together so I can step and shift my weight into a lunge. Okay, that's not the lunge we're talking about today. All right, we're talking about a drop lunge, or when you're in that split stance position, your back knee is going straight to the floor as your front knee stays straight and kind of creates a 90-degree angle. So I'm going straight down. Notice I'm in this half kneel type position again, and then I'm coming back up. Okay, so I'm dropping straight down and back up. While I'm doing this, from the front view, there's a little space here between my legs. I want to keep that. I feel my front heel in the floor, and I stick my butt back just a little bit for a hip hinge, and I ride my heel down to the floor, and then I drive my heel into the floor to lift back up. By doing that, I'm activating my glutes almost as if I'm doing a single leg squat. Okay? So I'm riding my heel down, I feel the weight in my front butt, and then I drive my heel into the floor, lifting me back up. So again, you want to make sure that your core is engaged. Otherwise, you're going to see, I call it the side door. You're going to see your butt kind of go out the side door, or you're going to see that knee flop inwards. All right, knee stays straight, belly's tight, drive through your heel, and lift. Let's switch legs. So I'll show you this side again. So my heel's in the floor, I do a little hip hinge, and I drop that back knee straight to the floor, drive my front heel into the ground to lift back up. You want to make sure that your feet are far enough apart for this exercise, because if they're not, you're going to feel cramped, and you're going to get a lot of strain and pressure through that front knee. So you want to make sure that your legs are spread apart, you're dropping straight down, that knee doesn't go forward beyond those toes. Back up. If you feel like you're having trouble with your balance, you can have a chair right beside you just to help steady you a little bit until you get used to the exercise. Okay? So now that you know how to do the proper drop lunge, if you'd like, you can grab your dumbbells again. And in fitness classes, a lot of times we start feet together. Remember, when you hold dumbbells in your arms, your shoulder blades are moving in towards your spine so that they're flat on the back of your rib cage. So I'm holding the weight basically in my shoulder blades, not in my chest or shrugging and going through my neck. Okay, so again, my shoulder blades are nice and flat on the back of my rib cage. So we're going to start with our feet together. If you don't have weights, that's fine. We're going to take a big step back. I'm going to drop down, stand up and step together. A big step back, drop down, stand up and step together. Make sure you keep that belly super tight. Focus on your front heel driving into the floor and keeping your front knee straight over your toes. We're going to do 2 more here, and then switch our legs. So I'll show you from the front this time. My arms aren't doing anything other than just holding the weights at my side, dropping down. I still maintain that little space between my legs, or that little window. My belly's tight, and I'm focusing on riding through my heel. 2 more. And 1 more. Okay. So just incorporating a little bit more exercise into the standing position. You can see we could kind of fly through the lying down stuff now because you guys are experts. So thank you for joining me for today's session, Beat the Bore, exercises for your back and core. Join us tomorrow again for our Facebook Live at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I will see you again on Thursday, and I think we're gonna get into side planking on Thursday. So take care, and we'll see you then.